Throughout my writings, I make the point that if 99% of the world population united, the 1% will not be strong enough. Please understand, statistically, 400 people in the United States alone hold more wealth than the rest of the whole country combined. And I've found that the reason for our fear of these individuals is because we continue to identify our personal worth with the dollar sign. In doing so, we allow for 400 people to control the rest of the country.
He's standing his ground.
Once he raise it, they gonna shoot him.
He raised it.
Once he raise it, they gonna shoot him.
Already done.
Look, they got all right.
They done him.
Please understand, there are people in this world who have inherited wealth. Within their genes, they hold generations of knowledge. There are people who belong to families who have planned decades of worldwide events. So imagine you coming up with a plan so far in the future that it involves your great-grandchildren's actions to have results. These are the people who have controlled our history, the food we consume, what movies we see, the news, the internet. These people have so much money, and because we have come to regard money as power, they hold so much power. They can pinpoint who you are, your location, at what time you wake up, and even into your phone or computer cameras when you aren't looking. This group of families have created capitalism to control us. Those who have attempted to change the system as it stands have been assassinated. For centuries, the world has regarded the United States of America as a powerhouse. In all reality, the only reason the United States is so powerful is because we have our own constitution. And within our constitution, it allows for freedom of speech and freedom of choice. That is why the elites have to use scare tactics and psychological warfare. They get you scared of something that is invisible to the naked eye: terrorists, poisonous gases, microbes. That is the beauty in what they do. It is so successful at achieving species self-destruction.
Head pounding on the concrete. It's like she's trying to kill her.
The video is now in the hands of investigators at the Lee County Sheriff's Office. They are determining if charges will be filed. We first showed you this video last night at 11 o'clock. We learned today this is the fourth fight at Riverdale High this year. There was only one fight last year. And
I often wonder if we utilize their methods properly towards a positive outcome. Can you imagine the change in behavior?
And so you two are absolutely identical? You know, I'm sure I could get you a part in Toy Story 3. I'm sorry, are we back?
I work alone.
But I think you need to be more.
So from my perspective, our world as it stands, it's run by both capitalism and psychological warfare. Think about it. Everything in the world is run by money. Access to quality education, the quality of the food we consume, the quality of sleep we have, and even the environmental factors are huge. Let's think about the average American parent. After spending most of their income in rent, electric, phone, Wi-Fi, and other monthly necessities, having to leave your child with music, television, phones, and other devices for entertainment because you, as the responsible parent, are too busy with extra work or school assignments. That's the life of a regular parent. When you attempt to climb up the corporate ladder, you have to work full-time and go to school because they require titles, which quality depends on money. Then, after you graduate, your work comes home with you. And as you sit at home studying or finishing your extra work, your child is currently being conditioned to respond to stimuli the way those in control want them to. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, conditioning is a behavioral process whereby a response becomes more frequent or more predictable in a given environment as a result of reinforcement. Reinforcement typically being a stimulus or reward for a desired response. It even states that the United States developed the procedures, observations, and definitions of conditioning. There is a proven psychological fact that when you repeat something enough times, that process becomes a part of your subconscious, meaning you respond the way you do to stimuli because of what you've been repeatedly told.
You must have been vacuuming for an hour.
Anything to please my man.
Well, Marge, should I wax slow or fast?
Slow, then fast.
So that made me think, why do we complain so much about the violence going on in our society? If we constantly allow our children to listen to popular music and play video games which only depict violence, sex, money, war, or drugs.
Sometimes, oh, blow that up, anybody near it? Nope. Got him. Got him.
With music, movies, TV shows, and commercials throughout time, the elite have utilized influencing agents to appease the masses. These are the major ways of control. Within the last few years, I've observed society become more and more stressed over their responsibilities because of their negative habits. The popular culture of spending is now normal. It is one of working and spending all you have in your free time, purchasing products that further enslave us into the system. Doing this over and over again, 52 times a year, sometimes decades at a time. The entertainment industry constantly speaks of sex, money, drugs, violence, and the dependency of others for happiness. Then we wonder why our society has accepted murdering each other digitally, physically assaulting another, rape, human trafficking, and other types of violence, even watching people commit suicide on live video. Don't you understand that if we were to all say we've had enough and actually acted upon our gut feelings of wanting change, we could achieve it? After all, in the US alone, we outnumber the 1% by over 3 million people. Do you think they would survive if we were just to say no? Please understand, the current habits that we hold as individuals have led us to create a world in which millions die of starvation and morbid obesity, complete polarities, simultaneously. Both extremes, total victims to the capitalist agenda we have come to accept as our reality, which connects to the idea that there's a lack of resources. And the only reason for this perception is because the 1% of the total world population holds more wealth than the rest of the world combined. We fight each other in the world because we have grown tired of a system that was created by only 1% of us. This is the sad reality of our construct. This is what we've achieved after constant practice of the same principles given to us by the 1% in control. This cycle will only continue if we allow it. There is power in numbers. United, we can achieve new outcomes if we allow ourselves to use every single one of our heartbeats to create a new, positive experience. Over time, the results will be outstanding. Imagine being a part of the beginning of a civilization where our great-grandchildren can grow to know and develop their passion, where access to education is truly a right, not a privilege, where love for oneself and another is held at the highest value, where judgment is a concept unheard of, and where happiness is found by simply waking up each day knowing that you are living life to the fullest extent of its capacity, without the limitations of the capitalistic view. A world where racism is only heard of in books because we've grown to understand that skin is an aspect of the beautiful design of the experience of life. The psychology behind the control aspect is one that subconsciously programs our brain to react the way the 1% of the world wants us to. They designed our conditioning so that we would become addicted to it, allowing them to further control us. The 99% of the world allows only 1% to enslave them. It has been repeatedly proven throughout history that those in control have allowed capitalism to rule over the well-being of humankind. They have allowed worldwide industries to slowly poison our world with chemicals, which against the beauty of the design continues to deteriorate our existence. Basically, our whole planet is dying because of money.